Welcome to Unboxing. My name is Rafael Escobedo, and on this video today we're going to go ahead and talk about the previews and predictions of Tim Bradley versus Jessie Vargas. I'm going to go ahead and start it off with some quick notes for the week. Alright, everybody's talking about what Mayweather has said, who he's fighting next, and the two opponents he has up there. It's basically, these two guys, they're like one of the top guys up there in the welterweight division. Andre Berto and Kareem Mayfield, these are the top two fighters out there. There's nobody else better than them, has better records than them. Wait, hold on. This ain't right, man. This is BS, man. This is another way Mayweather's trying to get easy fight out. Just trying to do his thing and just get the win, and hopefully everybody gets suckered in and pay for the fight. He mentioned it, had interviewed him saying that these are two fighters he's looking at to fight. Andre Berto, who has lost two fighters that Mayweather already beaten, so I don't know why he's wasting his time doing that. I'm not sure he's buddies with them or Al Heyman or whatever, and most likely it is. And also we have Kareem Mayfield. He doesn't even have 20 wins, and his two losses came from Emmanuel Taylor and Thomas Delamar. And you already seen those two guys already fight just fight recently, and they lost. So it just doesn't make sense why they're giving this guy a chance for the belt. He was sparring partners with Pacquiao. Pacquiao's a different fighting style than Mayweather. It doesn't mean nothing. If you did good against Pacquiao, it doesn't mean he's going to do good against Mayweather, because Mayweather is a counter fighter. That's the much hyped about nothing fights that Mayweather's always been having. I was hoping for him to win the winner of Tim Bradley and Vargas, or even Keith Thurman or Sean Porter. Somebody, somebody's up there is winning some fights in the past couple of fights, not winning 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5, and then being the last two fights they had losing. Just Mayweather's trying to get an easy paycheck, just get out. I'm not sure he wants to get out of boxing or not. That's the opponents that he wants to get out there, that he's putting out there. That's the two fighters he wants to fight, and I guess he wants us boxing fans to believe the only two top fighters out there for him to fight, which is BS. I mean, it's up to you what you want to think, but then again, nothing's signed right now, so hopefully just pushing everybody, throwing everybody off. Hopefully that's what it is. Then we see Mayweather trying to be like a little promoter right there, talking about between Keith Thurman or Sean Porter should fight Errol Spence for one of his vacant titles. I'm not sure if he has the right to do that. I'm not sure boxers have the right who to pick for who's going to fight for their belt that they vacant. It does happen like that. It's a conflict of interest, and some lawsuits probably be there, but I'm pretty sure some promoters already do that anyways. Pay the organizations to go ahead and make fights for their fighters. And I guess just Mayweather just speaking out loud, and I don't think he should be doing that. But again, he looked like he's trying to go into that little promoter kind of thing that he always wants to get into, and also the fighters, all Heyman fighters, and this comes if you saw in the first video how Al Heyman all fits into this. Basically, Al Heyman helped Mayweather get his promotion going, his money going, and helped him out a lot. So Mayweather's helping on him back, just trying to give one of his titles to one of his fighters, and he's saying that out loud. I'm not sure that's legal. And we also have De La Hoya seriously talking about he wants to come back against Mayweather Golovkin. He's 42 years old. I'm not sure he could fight or not. He was a great fighter. There's been fighters who have been fighting over the past of age of 40. But same time, just publicity stunt. Whoever wants to fight is basically for money. If he's fighting Mayweather, just last paycheck, or let's just say that he wants to get a revenge on Mayweather, which I'm not sure is going to happen because he'd probably be a little bit too heavy now. And if he fights Golovkin, and basically what he's trying to do is what he did with Bernard Hopkins, Mayweather, and tried to do with Manny Pacquiao, but he wasn't able to get away with it, was basically just fight these guys. He knows he's not going to win, but just to help them get the money that they needed, the attention, which helped out all of these fighters, Bernard Hopkins, Mayweather, and Pacquiao. Well, Pacquiao was kind of already doing good, but he just wanted him to come over to his promotions, and that didn't happen because he still had a contract with Bob Arum. So most likely that's why he's saying that's why he's doing it, and I'm not sure he's struggling to get some fighters under his belt or what the reason is. I mean, it don't look like it's good for boxing. I mean, there's other promoters been doing a little bit worse than that, so I'm not giving it too much attention, but he's out there just talking loud about it. Talking about Triple G, he's calling out David Lemieux that he wants to fight his belt right away. He tweeted out that he wants to fight next opponent. David Lemieux already has a mandatory fight coming up. If it's against supposed to be against Sam Solomon, but he's fighting somebody else. I guess the winner of that fight he's going to fight. and then he'll be able to fight Triple G Golovkin. Haven't heard any rebuttals from David Lemieux that he wants to fight him or not. I really wanted David Lemieux to fight Peter Quillen just to get that belt, just to push him to the side, to also develop his, to build him up a little bit before he fights Triple G. I'm not sure how much of a good fight it's going to be. David Lemieux did look good in the first couple of rounds, but later on he kind of did have some problems. So see how, I don't know if Triple G will walk all over that or have his problems too in the beginning rounds against him. David Lemieux, just go ahead and fight somebody just to have some kind of build up. Is fighting Sam Solomon to help him out? Just go ahead and just push that out there. But Triple G is going to have no opponents next time, so he's trying to get whoever. He's also going to have to wait against Cotto and Canelo, see what comes out of that. But just too much waiting for Triple G, and he's fighting nobody out there that wants to fight him. Like, again, he's one of the guys that nobody wants to fight, scared to fight him. Let's go ahead and get to a previous prediction for the fight coming up this weekend. And it's Jessie Vargas against Tim Bradley. Let's go ahead and just talk about Jessie Vargas first. He has 26 fights, no losses, 9 KOs. So that kind of shows you what kind of power he got. Really doesn't have that much. He beat Antonio DeMarco, who Antonio DeMarco just got through losing over the weekend. That's somewhat supposed to be good, but at the same time, he's been losing a lot recently. So it don't prove nothing. He fought other people too, but they were not that great. One of the problems that I say already wrong with Jessie Vargas is just in the previous, he had too many trainers for somebody that's not really that great. Requesting different kind of trainers is not really going to help anybody. If you've been fighting a style for a long time, I don't think a trainer would be able to change your style. You'd probably be able to tweak it here and there. And let's talk about Tim Bradley. He's a previous world champion. On this fight, they were supposed to fight for one of Mayweather vacant belts, but he didn't want to let go. I guess he's choosing who gets to fight for the belt instead of the organizations. Bradley only has one loss. Should have actually had 2 losses, and that's against Pacquiao. The first fight he had Manny Pacquiao, they gave it to him in a split decision. It should have went to Pacquiao. Then he fought him again, and Manny Pacquiao won it. Then he had other fighters in the past couple of fights. He had fought against Provodnikov. It was a real good fight. Started off, he probably would have had some problems, but he came out winning, came out slugging it out. Then he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, who was the last person to beat Pacquiao before Mayweather. And the only thing I see wrong with Tim Bradley, I guess coming off that Pacquiao lost, he fought Diego Chavez. Diego Chavez is good. He's a hard hitter, but at the same time, he's not somebody that should be giving anybody problems or anything like that. And he got a split draw for that. And that's somebody that he wasn't supposed to get any kind of draw, any kind of loss. But I'm not sure that's one of the things. I guess he had a setback after the Pacquiao loss when he actually had that official loss on his record. It gave him some problems. But he should be coming back. One of the things Tim Bradley does have problems with is his power. Somebody who's real stout, real strong, physically looking strong person, he cannot finish nobody. He has problems finishing people out, and really hasn't had a knockout since Joel Casamayor, but that's back in 2011. So it's been a while for him having any power coming up at 147 pounds. See what he does. Then he's talking about doing 154. So I'm not sure what he's seeing in this fight with Jessie Vargas, unless it's just a fight out there for him to take. But let's go ahead and just get to the predictions. One of the things I'm going to see, Tim Bradley and Jessie Vargas, they kind of let themselves get hit a lot. Vargas he starts off pretty good in the beginning rounds, then he kind of lays off and he gets kind of sloppy and leaves himself open. Which Tim Bradley is always going to come forward. If he's tired or not, he's always going to be swinging. He's going to get hit a lot, but he's known to be taking a lot of great hard hits, which Jessie Vargas does not have. And I don't think any of his punches will have any problems with Tim Bradley, so he shouldn't have no problems at all walking up to Jessie Vargas and getting pushing some pressure. So I'm going to see this fight going Tim Bradley, 12 rounds. I really don't see a KO. Like I said before, he hasn't really been carrying that knockout power. So that's most likely he's going to go ahead and just go 12 rounds. I really do not know if Jessie Vargas is a good chin or not. He really hasn't fought any heavy hitters. So I'm not exactly sure if he'll be able to take that hit or not from Tim Bradley. But Tim Bradley's going to keep the pressure, win decision, 12 rounds. In beginning rounds, there are going to be some back and forth. It's not going to be a lopsided fight. I don't think it's going to be a lopsided fight out through the fight. You're probably going to see some back and forth in the first couple of rounds. And after that, I think Tim Bradley's going to take over. But I think going against Tim Bradley, we said before, is just knockout power. Also, he gets able to get hit a lot. And he's talking about going up 154. So, he's having problems losing weight. So, let's see what happens right there with that situation. If you can overcome all those and have no problems with that, you should have no problem beating Jessie Vargas. I also wanted to mention on Friday, there are going to be some fights on there on Showtime. You're going to have Sam Solomon, who I talked about earlier, that should be a mandatory for David Lemieux's belt. He's fighting Dominic Wade. I think if he can beat that, he's going to be able to fight David Lemieux. That's going to be on Showtime. Also on True TV, Gilbert Ramirez is going to fight Derek Edwards. If Gilbert Ramirez could get this fight, he'd probably be able to get a fight with Arthur Abraham at the super middleweight title. But he needs to get it through this, and Arthur Abraham needs to defend his title, and they should be able to fight in the future. So there's some good fights coming up there also this Friday. Also, please watch my top 5 pound-for-pound list that I have boxers are fighting right now. The links is in the descriptions below. And always thank you for Mac Boxing. Please like, subscribe. If you want to go ahead and leave some comments, please do that in the comment section below.